Wells.
And just a reminder, you do have 5 minutes, and I'm going to turn that off so you can.
Thank you. Oh. I'll just go ahead and start, you think? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is there a microphone? No? I just have to be loud? Okay. I'm Rebecca Wells, lifelong Granite City resident, currently Chouteau Township. I realize our corner of Granite City is only a small portion of this huge decision that has probably already been decided, but I would like to take a few moments to share. Just a short distance from the proposed site, we are viewed as simply rows of houses and small neighborhoods on either side of Route 3. For many, it goes much deeper. I personally know a multitude of millennials and middle-aged families choosing heritage, reviving their ancestors' homes. They have lived there for years. Multiple three-generation families sharing 2 cul-de-sacs. One family rebuilding an amazing 2-story legacy on their ancestors' property where the road shares their own family name, only to have a threat of what could be referred to as a poison center dropped in the near distance. If you are unable to find compassion for these and so many others, picture yourself in your sanctuary, family, friends, peace, sharing the fruits of your labor. Then one day it begins, the twilight zone, constant non-stop buzzing. Air, noise, light pollution, no nighttime darkness you once took for granted, and we have so little control over this huge decision. Do you feel our pain? While air quality is of huge concern, research reflects data centers emit noise up to 96 decibels 24/7. 85 decibels is considered dangerous to humans. More terrifying is what we cannot hear. Low frequency, felt as pressure or vibration, heart and nervous system disrupted every minute of every day. What good would any so-called revenue be to any of us suffering from respiratory disease, nervous disorders, and contaminated water shortage in the comfort of our now worthless home? The extended picturesque farmer's field is, in a sense, the backyard to many. No, we do not claim to own it, nor do we control it. However, we are retaliating as the effects of this monstrosity will travel to invade our personal space. I enforce my previous statement, 250 to 500 feet from any neighborhood, as totally unacceptable, with all ill effects traveling 2 to 10 miles. Every evening, as you are heading to the comforts of your unthreatened home, please remember there is more to your job than the financial budget, but the responsibility of overall health and public safety to all 26,500 tax-paying citizens and voters. Again, I'd like to remind you, this is your legacy. What will you leave behind? What you did for the people of Granite City, or what you did to the people of Granite City? Thank you.
Very good. We have Linda Blunt.
At this point, no one should need to tell any of you about the catastrophic effects a data center will have on Granite City and its residents. But astonishingly, here we are yet again. It's simple. There are no benefits, only devastating consequences. During construction lasting up to 2 years, there's few, if any, temporary local construction jobs. Road congestion, closures, delays, detours, increased risk of accidents, road wear and damage from heavy equipment, utility disruptions, increased pollution from diesel-powered construction equipment, generators, cranes, and trucks, dust and airborne particles which settle in homes and on vehicles, millions of gallons of water used for dust suppression, concrete production, and cooling system testing, prolonged noise and light pollution from excavators, jackhammers, and floodlighting, often on 24-hour schedules, potential flooding with toxic water, loss of trees, farmland, water, and natural habitats. Data centers are not ordinary buildings. Construction of a hyperscale data center relies on chemical processes that release enormous amounts of carbon dioxide into the air, resulting in massive greenhouse gas emissions. Isn't that a complaint about global warming? But for a data center, now it's okay. Post-construction, less than 100 permanent jobs in this automated building, increased air pollution from monthly generator testing, massive water and electricity consumption, 24/7, 365 noise and light pollution, audible up to 2 miles, visible up to 10 miles. Severe impacts on the health of all residents and wildlife, increased property taxes, utility rates, and destroyed property values, and on. As if Granite City isn't already getting raped enough with taxes and utility rates, a data center will put this on steroids. If the sale of this land to Granite City is approved, knowing full well that it will be used for a data center, if one could speculate, one might suggest that this decision is purely lucrative and has nothing to do with our best interests. Mayor, again, I reiterate that if this project is approved with your support, history will remember this as the worst decision ever made by a Granite City mayor. And combined with the sewer sale that doubled and tripled residents' bills, it'll permanently tarnish your legacy. But in all fairness, by your own admission, you inherited a financial mess from Farmer Hagnauer, who also sits on this Port Authority board. My question is, where did the $100 million go that you claimed is what resulted in the sewer system sale? Mayor, due to your role as both mayor and Port Authority board member, and under Illinois State Law 50 ILCS 105/3, I respectfully request that you recuse yourself from any vote on this land sale to avoid the appearance of impropriety. And I dare any of you to publicly justify approving this land sale knowing it's for a data center. In closing, I leave you with a verse from the Bible spoken by Jesus Christ, that all would take heed to do well to take heed. Luke 12:2-3. There is nothing concealed that will not be revealed, or hidden that will not be made known. What you have said in the dark will be heard in the light. What you have whispered in closets shall be proclaimed from the rooftops.
Heather Granite?
Hello, everybody. I'm going to start with a prayer. I just want to thank God, and dear Father, I just praise you and thank you for bringing to light things that has been hidden from us. We know, Lord, that you have our best interest in sight. We know that you have caused roadblocks, delays, and different things to stop this data center. We are now speaking up and finding out about this information, and we just give you thanks and praise for all that you have done behind the closed doors that we don't know about. In Jesus' name, amen. Over the past several months, many residents have learned more through Freedom of Information Act requests than through public announcements from the officials elected to represent us. Documents obtained through FOIA suggest that discussions, planning, and site development activities were underway long before many residents knew that a data center was being considered. This raises an important question. Why are residents left to discover these plans after the fact instead of being informed in the beginning? This issue extends beyond this board. Residents are seeking answers from the Village of Pontoon Beach, the City of Granite City, and the American Central Port Authority. Every turn, people have been forced to search for information that should have been readily available to the public. We continue to ask simple questions. What approvals have been granted? What permits remain outstanding? What environmental reviews have been completed? What water, sewer, electrical, traffic, and noise studies have been performed? What agreements exist between developers and government entities? These are not unreasonable questions. These are questions citizens should be able to ask and receive clear answers to before decisions are made that could impact our neighborhoods for generations. The Illinois Constitution recognizes that every person has a right to a healthful environment and that environmental protection must be maintained for the benefit of present and future generations. Those words are not just suggestions. They reflect a duty to carefully consider how major industrial projects affect our communities, our natural resources, and our quality of life. We have also heard the word fiduciary used frequently. A fiduciary duty means acting in the best interest of those you serve. It means loyalty, honesty, good faith, transparency, and putting interest of the people above other interests. If public officials believe they are fulfilling a fiduciary duty to the residents of this community, then the residents should not have to uncover major development plans through FOIA requests. Residents should not be left wondering what decisions have already been made behind closed doors. Residents should not feel that information is being withheld until it's too late to have a meaningful input. A fiduciary acts as a steward for the people. A fiduciary listens to the people. A fiduciary informs the people. A fiduciary earns the trust of the people. Trust is built through transparency, not secrecy. Whether someone supports or opposes a data center, it is not the issue before us. The issue is whether citizens receive honest communication, complete information, and meaningful opportunity to participate before decisions are made. The people of this community deserve transparency. The people deserve answers. The people deserve to be heard before, not after, major decisions are made. Another thing I want to address to Mayor Parkinson. You've seen our faces a lot the last few months, mostly the same people. There are a lot more that follow us that aren't able to attend meetings, or they just don't want to be publicly recorded or all that kind of stuff. But recently a new person spoke at the last council meeting. He said that he spoke with you personally. He said within 24 hours he got a call from Kathy Hamilton and a voicemail. My question is, why all these people, and there's more, that you haven't reached out to, haven't responded to, but you responded to him? And you know who I'm talking about. I will not say his name, but we know this person has a powerful voice in Granite City. And we know this person, if he says something, people are going to follow him. Why does his voice mean more than ours? That's not right. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I will add, not necessarily in response, we've had a lot of FOIA requests over this data center. As of this morning, we put a statement on our website about the data center, just frequently asked questions, if you will. So I've got a QR code here if anybody wants to get a meeting. Thank you, sir. So this is, as a reminder, this is that grant from the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, $5 million to help purchase an additional 350 acres of property for rail development. And you might recall when we got that grant award, there were a couple of stipulations in there. One was the Illinois Department of Agriculture had a sign-off, and the other one was the Illinois State Historic Preservation Office needed a sign-off. The Department of Agriculture sign-off was pretty quick. That was within a couple of weeks of us getting that grant. The SHPO, or State Historic Preservation Office, took a little more time. We, back a couple of months ago, this board authorized the hiring of a firm to go out and do archaeological look on that property. They came back and said, hey, there's some potential for other work that needs to be done, other investigation, but they submitted everything to the State Historic Preservation Office. What we received last week was a sign-off, pending sign-off from the State Historic Preservation Office for this grant agreement, based upon either further investigation or avoiding 4 sites that are located there. There were a total of 7 initially looked at, but they're down to 4 sites that could need either additional review or avoidance of those locations. If the board approves, this gives us the sign-off that we need. It's really a guarantee that we will go through either avoiding or additional work on those sites if we are to purchase that property before any development would occur. And again, this is for that state of Illinois grant. Happy to answer any questions.
This is strictly a one-purpose grant?
Yes.
No road?
This is for rail development. That's the reason the grant application was put in. So we have 2 competing uses potentially on that property. One is a data center, the other one is rail. And if this were to go forward, this still doesn't lock us in to doing the rail development, but gets us the sign off that we needed and allows us to execute the grant agreement to move forward with the potential
motion we approve.
Okay, motion and second. Now, Secretary call the roll.
Brown? Aye. Glassford? Aye. Goins?
Aye.
Hagnower?
Aye.
Parkinson?
Aye.
White?
Aye. Okay. Number 6, resolution approving responsible bidder for phase 2 of Port Office Plaza.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Building 100 Plaza project is the second phase of the Port Office parking lot improvement plan. This project will include the installation of a concrete plaza, landscaping blocks, trees and shrub plantings, and some electrical work. Port staff posted the project and received 4 bids that were publicly opened on June 2nd, 2026. Hemmer Contracting provided the lowest responsive bid of $178,000. A 10% contingency of $18,000 is requested to cover any unforeseen expenditures that may arise during the course of the project. Staff recommends approval for this resolution.
Question. Is there a PLA attached to this?
Yes, it's with potentially, no, they can't sign it until the end of, so they'll be,
That's not correct. I talked to the building trades people. That's not the way it works. And the way it was presented to this board last time was incorrect. Their PLA should be in place with the bids.
I would disagree respectfully
I
with
talked
that.
to them this morning. We've advised you, we voted to put a PLA in place. All these bids should have PLAs with them or they're not a valid bid.
We had this very discussion with the Building Trades Group even before this whole issue came up at the board last year. And what they instructed us, we were very clear in what we asked. And we said, can't you do this differently? No, we will not negotiate until you have a valid bid, selected lowest responsible bidder, because we will not
So
negotiate.
there is no
something with all
bid.
bidders.
There's no bidding that goes on. It's a signed thing. It's an assigned agreement. There's no bids. It doesn't get bid. There's no negotiation on this thing. I didn't mean the bid. There's no negotiation on a PLA. It's either they sign it or they don't. There's no reason that all these people shouldn't have one in place before we even consider the bid. This is what got us into trouble last week. And I've talked to them extensively about this. So going around what this board voted to have PLAs in place, they should be in place, otherwise it's not a valid bid.
But what they've told us in the past is
I'm
they
telling you
will
what
not.
they're telling me today.
We're
I talked to them
gonna
this
get
morning.
feedback from bidders that they're not getting phone calls returned, not getting emails returned.
Well,
and that
I
they're
can see,
told that they won't.
I can see ones on this contractor's list that clearly have PLAs in place. Correct?
I'm talking about some of the other projects that we had as well. We're getting feedback from contractors that they're being told that they're not gonna be able to discuss the PLA with the trades council until an award is done.
I talked to the head today and he told me that's not accurate.
How long ago did you guys talk with him?
I'm sorry.
How long ago did you guys talk with him?
Well, we've had several conversations. In fact, the first conversation we had, with Mr. Aller, even before we did the PLA, policy change, brought this up to him directly that, this is an issue that we see with the actual agreement itself. The language makes it sound like, one, it's supposed to be in place between the port and the trades council, and all the contractors just signed the letter of assent. Wanted to get clarification from them, is that really the procedure you want us to do? And they want the procedure to be that PLA is in place with the contractor and them, and still have the letter of assent with all the subs. We also brought up the fact that, they're wanting us to get this put into place after an award. He said, yeah, that's the way we're supposed to have it done.
So the conversation I had this morning is that's not the case. And that was an hour before this meeting on the phone with Mr. Allen. And that there's no reason that our bids shouldn't have a PLA attached to it if they signed it. There's no negotiating a PLA. They just either sign it or they don't. And if they don't, then they're not a qualified bidder.
Who are you speaking with that, Dennis and, Baynard?
Same guy, Mr. Allen.
Excuse me?
Mr. Allen, same guy.
So you guys are talking to the same guy?
Yes, it's the same guy.
And you getting two conflicting stories of how this is done?
As discussed in the predicament we had last week, Dennis, our attorney, who's not able to attend today, is requesting that we put this on the agenda to have further discussion next week when he's present on this issue. I don't know what if this is a project, does Himmer have one in place?
he has no issues going with it.
Yeah.
His sons are all part of
Yeah.
SBA. He's even a member of
Yeah,
Trades Council.
yeah, he's,
I mean, we don't expect there to be any reason that there would be an issue. That any of the folks that aren't part of the Trades Council, I mean, that's where there's probably gonna be issues at play.
I think maybe the difference here, we view, and we thought that the Building Trades Council views these as project-specific agreements. And if what you're saying is you negotiate or you have this ahead of time, then it's more of a union, agreement rather than
so-
it is a project labor agreement, because
So I think that is the scope of the conversation, and per